Brigade presents The Realty Debate, powered by Reliance Home Finance with Manisha Natarajan.
Welcome back. You're watching The Realty Debate with me, Manisha Natarajan. Now, ideally, a housing project should be delivered within 36 months. But in most cities across India, it's a challenge to meet that deadline. Even the most professional developers find it very hard to deliver a project. They might get it ready, but they will still may not be able to deliver a product in 3 years because CCs won't come, OCs won't come, and there are lots and lots of approvals. And getting building approvals and permits remains a mega task in this country. The Modi government came to power with the promise of improving ease of doing business in India, and finally, the summer of 2016 has seen just the first beginnings of this much needed transformation in real estate. The Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, or BMC as we all know it, has taken the lead and gone online from May 15, 2016. Delhi got its single window clearance and a new set of unified building bylaws after 33 years. Now, we've already done the statistics, but out of 9,000 plus residential projects launched between 2008 and 2010, this is prop equity data, 7,391 remain unfinished, and about 2,500 are in Mumbai metropolitan region alone. So, I'm going to come to you first, Baman. Ease of doing business, we've already said that, okay, the entire blame is not on developers. In fact, Mumbai in the last 4 years that I've been doing the property show has probably seen the maximum number of flip-flops on permissions, DCR rules, norms, and something or the other stopping construction. So this time around, are you hopeful, are you positive, and how much so?
Manisha, very clearly, the intent of the government is very, very clear to cut down the timelines in which the approvals will be obtained. I think a lot of the issues around approval processes have been brought to simplification. We have a leader in our municipal commissioner, Mr. Ajoy Mehta, who's actually taken the bull by the horns and has decided to actually cut short all the double actions that used to take place. So, he's come up with a very simplified ease of doing business policy. He actually came out there and announced it himself to all the developers and the PIATA, that's our architect body, and kind of ran through almost all the processes himself. This is leadership from the front. We have the blessings of our Chief Minister, who's absolutely keen on it, and he has personally been doing this in a way with the Municipal Commissioner to kind of push forth this process. And I will read out to you a few of the things that they are out to do, but I see great potential in bringing down the timelines.
Okay, Baman,
at least from cutting out all the unnecessary formulations of policy that were there.
Baman, I'm really surprised that you guys are so excited about it, because the other side I hear that how are officers going to let go of that power and the incumbent graft or grease which comes along with this approval process. Anyway, hold on to your thought. Let me go to Mr. Jaishankar. Mr. Jaishankar, Mumbai is so relieved that they have an online process, approval process. Delhi has model bylaws, though Delhi doesn't have any space to make too many residential apartments, but that's a different point altogether. Karnataka, how's it been so far? I mean, are you guys seeing any change in ease of doing business for real estate?
Unfortunately, no, Manisha. Ease of doing business is a dream, in this sector particularly, and we developers have become quite cynical about it. So, like, we are in this business, Brigade is in business for last nearly 3 decades, and even a high-rise building, we used to get permissions in 3 to 4 months, in 80s and early 90s. But today, then it became 6 months and 9 months. Today, it is 12 to 15 months if one is lucky. Similarly, the occupancy certificates, we used to get earlier in 60 days' time. Today, it could be 4 months, 5 to 6 months, depending on, one's luck and how well it is followed up. So, ease of doing business is, as I said, it's a dream. And I know the government's ranking at the center has improved. The World Bank report says India's ranking has improved from 142 last year to 130 this year. But, quite a few of the parameters for ease of doing business is connected with construction sector, obtaining permits, obtaining enforcing contracts, obtaining electricity, etc. And out of 188 countries, the World Bank tracks, I think our record is pretty poor. In quite a few cases, we are at 170, 180 like that. And even among the BRIC countries, our ranking is the lowest. We are at 130, and whereas Russia, China, South Africa, and Brazil, they are all at a much better ranking than India.
Okay.
So we fondly hope that ease of doing business improves in our state, and in real estate primarily it is a state subject, so from state to state it can vary.
Rohit Raj Modi, I mean, I went for the press conference personally when Mr. Venkaiah Naidu was announcing these, after 33 years, rules changing for Delhi and a single window clearance, and it has to be done in 30 days. All great steps, and we all applauded it. But all your building stock and new stock is not in Delhi. It's in other parts of NCR, and not much is happening there at all.
See, what's happened in Mumbai, MMR, and in Delhi definitely requires to be, government needs to be congratulated on taking those steps. Having said that, the ease of doing business index of the World Bank takes only 2 cities of India into consideration, which is Mumbai and Delhi. So, implementing these reforms in these 2 cities will help the government to upscale its ranking in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index. But having said that, what happens to the rest of the cities or states where the action has to take place? Now, the new set of model bylaws that you are referring to, which have been introduced in Delhi, are recommendatory in nature at best for most of the states, that states have been advised to adopt them. They've been advised to adopt them, and even if you link that MOEF approval, which has been inbuilt into these new building bylaws, they have to be adopted by the states. And as we know that land being a state subject, it is easier said than done. So I do think that what has happened in Mumbai and Delhi is definitely laudable, and we all can hope and live in that hope that this movement will probably go to states as well. Progressive states will take it up before the others. But I think as far as the central government pressure is concerned, it's only about Delhi and Mumbai, because that's the only thing which has weightage in the index.
Oh my God. Okay, so that in a way is saying that, hey, if Delhi, Mumbai is sorted, rest of it, they're not going to be so much bothered about. Ramesh Nair, welcome to the show. I didn't introduce you right at the beginning. I should have. You're such a familiar face that we just thought, okay, he'll just seamlessly get into the debate. But thanks so much for joining us. Now, I mean, what's your own sense in terms of the noises that we hear at the centre, and actually some very, very applaudable moves, whether it's the Environment Ministry, which has now allowed urban local bodies, they've been empowered to give clearances for projects up to 150,000 square meters. That was the biggest hurdle. Or the initiative saying all states should adopt model bylaws and give clearances in 30 days. But at state level, you just heard Mr. Jai Shankar and you heard Rohit Raj Modi, things aren't changing. So how long will this continue?
Manisha, I agree with what Bowman mentioned. Truly a game changer for the Mumbai real estate development industry. Hats off to Ajoy Mehta, the BMC commissioner who has implemented this. Let's look at some numbers. We're talking of 38 different departments where a developer needs to get in and get out. 89 times he needs to, in 89 different places, he needs to pay the scrutiny fees. There are around 1,500 new projects which come to BMC for approval every year. Only around 750 of them actually get OC when completed. So we are talking of just half the projects getting an OC, which means there is the other half which is getting added to the backlog. So that's the big challenge. So files keep increasing, thereby things start slowing down. Good thing for the buyers. So today a buyer can predict that this project is going to come up on time because the approvals are all there in place. Good thing for the buyer. Developers, the biggest worry for developers today, financing cost, which is the land cost plus construction cost and the interest he's paying on it. That's going to come down. The developer is going to pass on that. There are all kinds of stories we have heard of files missing, papers missing, fires in the department. All those things will stop. A particular individual stopping file from going from one table to the other, that will stop. Lot more transparent, paperless work. So overall, definitely a game changer for the industry. I think this is definitely can be rated as one of Fadnavis's biggest achievement in his tenure so far.
Okay, so Sameer, are you skeptical that this is likely to work in Mumbai, or do you think that it's a big positive step, and if there is political will, it will work?
You know, I think first of all, it's absolutely the step in the right direction. All kudos to the Maharashtra government, and everything is, whatever everybody is saying is very positive. I just have a couple of questions to ask. You know, we talk about the authorities being corrupt, right? When there is corruption, then why can't I just pay bribe and get my approvals much faster? That's a big question, right? I'm not too sure that the amount of blame the developers pass on to the delay in approvals related to the delay actually on the ground is actually true or not. That's my big question.
Okay.
If there is corruption, then why can't I get my approvals much faster? If I go to an income tax department, I want a refund, I won't get it for 6 months, but if I'm willing to pay 10,000 rupees, I'll get back check in my hand. So why won't I get the approval like that?
Okay, Rohit Raj Modi and Baman Irani and Mr. Jaishankar, I'm going to take your reaction to that question one by one. Why everyone knows that this is a graft industry, you've got to grease many palms, yet approvals take so long. Why? I mean, it's an established fact, then approval should be coming faster. And why will online change it so much then? Rohit, start with you.
Okay. See, what's the biggest sword of Damocles on the developer's head? It's the time. And the graft gets perpetuated because you are made to sweat for time. Okay.
See?
So the key lies in that. No officer in this country indulges into graft for breaking the law. Laws have been very well written over the years. I think the laws have become tighter, loopholes are not there, and no unauthorized permissions or such things happen. The graft is essentially to just get your job done. Okay, and that's where, because the delay is what you are worried about, because you're carrying cost
for approvals with wrong paperwork and wrong documentation.
No. See, first of all, most of the permissions, you have to probably attach this much, supporting evidence. You put that up over there. It takes a fair amount of time for inspection, and as Ramesh pointed out, there is a huge backlog of files. Nobody's file is getting cleared without, probably a little bit of speed money. So it's not that, by providing speed money, you are doing a favor to somebody. It's just become a part of a culture of the way the work is being done. And I said that it's not being done to give you an extra favor. It's just being done to get you what legally you are supposed to get.
To do because of the backlog. So here's my question, Baman. I mean, how does online change it? How does online change the whole process? So you need 50 plus approvals. In fact, 38 developers, 89 different approvals. I mean, I know Ramesh reeled off a lot of statistics, 1,500 projects at one time with the authorities. Just explain to me, at what points do you think just the fact that human intervention is gone will be the helpful part, or what?
Manisha, let me answer Sameer first. Sameer, actually this entire thing about corruption is not the real issue, right? Every single time there was any kind of a problem, the state or the authorities suddenly took a knee-jerk reaction. When there was the entire issue of how the high-rise committee got formed in Mumbai, it was just on the whim or on the belief of a particular complainant stating or going to court saying that, a building which is of this high-rise, the BMC does not have the ability to kind of check it out. And there was an entire high-rise committee formed which kind of took approvals back by months at that point of time. Secondly, Environment Act came into play, and the environment the authorities that were put in place, they weren't government officers, they were certain retired officers and certain people from various professions who had no accountability in terms of speed, actually would go ahead and question every approval process that was, or every part of the approval that was given by the authority, the civic authority. That is to say, the BMC would say parkings required are so many, podium levels are so many, and we'd face questions in the environment department saying that, hey, listen, why do you require 4 podiums? Why can't you do it in 2? Now, these are things where, duplicity of work continuously took place, and that is where the time got really lost, right? So corruption aside, there was a lot of duplicity of work taking place. Interdepartmentally, there was no clarity as to who was to decide what. Things went back and forth like a ping pong time and again. Now, Manisha, coming to your question, how will the process being online really change a lot? First of all, there is a long way to go from here. I said at the start, you will see it is quite some time away from where the customer will actually see the benefit of this, and the developer will actually be able to kind of speed up the processes. But when you put things online, they are for everybody to see. It's transparent. It's right there. Today, if an approval is given to me, it can be given to anybody at all. So far, all papers, all files continue to stay the way they were. Closed books, which could be used by only the person who was making the application and the architect or whoever was the liaison authority to go ahead and get an approval done. The moment it's put online, what is done for one will be done for everybody.
Fair enough. Now, I mean, at state level, I think I've got everybody's views in terms of whether it's become easier or not, and Rohit Raj Modi said that maybe Maharashtra or Bombay specifically has become better, Delhi, but it's all about Mumbai, Delhi, it's not going beyond. Now, key central ministries have done a few things. One is what I just said about the Environment Ministry, which has empowered environmental clearances to the local urban bodies up to 150,000 square meters. There's also, you know, you've got the Civil Aviation Ministry, color-coded zonal maps already available for height clearance for 12 airports. Now, 9 more airports will also be developed by June 2016, and we will track that for the remaining 14. These will be ready by December 2016. So these are also some big hurdles which are getting out of the way. Ministry of Defence has said any amendments to remove hurdles for construction activities near defence establishments will all be, you know, outlined very, very properly and zoned out, so you don't have a problem. And finally, even for heritage buildings, I think Ministry of Culture has made it much easier. I'm going to ask Mr. Jaishankar to rate the current government. I mean, the government's applauding itself, but Mr. Jaishankar, weigh out what's happening at the center, the message which is going out to the state governments, and if there is a handshake or if there is a will, political will at the state level, would you say from the last 2 years, there's been slight hope of things getting better for the sector?
I must be frank and
Say no.
say it has not at all so. It has been, things have only gone from bad to worse. I'm not trying to be negative, but this is a fact. Whether it is, before 2005, there was no environmental clearance required. MOEF was not there. When MOEF came into picture, it has added 4 to 5 months to every approval. Even at the state level up to 150,000 square meters, even if the state authority can clear, they still take 3 to 4 months time to clear a project. And as far as the airport authority is concerned, the less said the better. In a city like Bangalore, you have to get airport authority clearance from the earlier old airport called HAL, the new airport called Bangalore International Airport, and now there is a flying club called Jakkur Flying Club. Even from a flying club, we are supposed to take a clearance. It is quite ridiculous. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there has been some kind of a complacency and lethargy has set in the system. And earlier, few years back, there were only 3 levels before a file used to reach the commissioner of the city corporation for approval. Today, there are 7 levels, and it takes quite a bit of time. And by the time you get all the no objection certificates, the viability of the project can itself change. And Bangalore city is one of the city with fairly clear building bylaws and master plan. But having said that, whenever the government comes out with GOs, government orders referred to as GOs, it makes things topsy-turvy and adds a tremendous amount of confusion. That is what we have been noticing in Bangalore for the last, I would say, 15 to 18 months. Things have really become slow, and we have represented to all the authorities concerned, and there is hope that they will act quite soon.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I think you've actually said that in the last 2 years, things have become worse for Karnataka. Rohit, would you like to give a rating to this government in the last 2 years?
Sure. I mean, since we're talking about this government, so we are referring to the central government over here.
And why not states also? One of your large states is going to go to election. I mean, and Akhilesh Yadav has to prove that he's made business better.
One central theme that one notices in the central government initiatives is that there has been a deliberate attempt to remove or reduce discretion, which is very important, because this discretion which leads to coercion and all kind of malpractices. So be it the airport authority, MOEF, even forest land. I mean, a lot of these things you can do online even today. Like, if you apply for a forest clearance or, you need a entryway through forest for a project land, it's all online and you can see exactly what comments have been written on your file and so on and so forth. So there's definitely a lot more transparency and lot less discretion, I would say. And keeping that in mind, I would definitely think that central government, I would probably rate them 7 out of 10 for their initiatives. If you look at the initiatives which came in the budget this year in 2016, I have never seen so much of real estate and urban development emphasis in the last 20 years that I've been watching budgets.
So the central government gets 7 out of 10. State governments for you, both you're operative in both UP and Haryana?
Well, if you look at Haryana and UP, both these states have a very well-defined bylaws and they're very well zoned. Because these two have been, in the forefront of real estate and urban development for a long time now. So I would definitely, put these states ahead of the pack when it comes to their bylaws and.
The pack is so slow. I'm just wondering where, because I know for one that Mahindra project, a fully ready project, did not get CC for 6 months, and they didn't know why it was stuck on Dwarka Expressway. But having said that, Rohit is positive. I'm glad to hear a positive voice. Final word to Ramesh Nair. Ramesh Nair, how would you rate this government? I mean, you deal with every state developers. What is the sense that you're getting? And be honest here. I mean, the government's applauding itself. It's all over Twitter saying, hey, look, my ease of doing business has improved.
Manisha, thumbs up for the government on 4 initiatives. The RERA, the REIT legislations, FDI, which is coming back to an all-time high, and bringing in 80 IB for affordable housing. Definitely a thumbs up on all those 4 counts. Thumbs down on not being able to pass the land acquisition bill and pass the GST. So that's how I would rate the government.
All right, gentlemen, let's conclude. I think there's no answer. This is a state level subject, and I can see that Karnataka has probably moved back in the last 2 years, has become worse when it comes to real estate. Mumbai seems to obviously see a lot of positive traction. UP and Haryana seem to be somewhere in between. Some developers not having a great time, but the other developers seem to be happy. Chennai developers extremely unhappy and hoping that in her second stint, at least, Amma delivers and some things keep moving. We know large developers are wrapping out of Chennai and have decided that they don't want to do business in that city. So that's the state. Very difficult to actually generalize across the country, but some good, some not so good. Baman Irani, Mr. Jay Shankar, and of course, Ramesh Nair, Rohit Raj Modi, and Sameer. Thanks so much for joining me, gentlemen. All that I can say is realty projects, investments over 10 lakh crore remain stuck as of FY15, says Prop Equity data. That isn't good news for an economy trying to clock a 8% GDP growth. Ease of doing business in real estate construction has to come. It can boost not just 200 plus ancillary industries, but also boost job creation. So fingers crossed, beginnings made at the central government level, and few states, hopefully the rest will follow. Goodbye and thanks so much for joining.